I was just on Facebook and someone posted a question. They said, I live in southern Ontario and in the next couple days it's going to be 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Should I be watering my plants every day so that they can live through this hot temperature? I decided I just have to make a video about this. This is a huge misunderstanding that gardeners have. Gardeners are using the wrong temperature when they're making decisions about the garden. I live in southern Ontario and I was surprised that it's going to be that hot. In fact, I knew it wasn't going to be that hot. But so I went and checked it out. Well, in the next week, the highest temperature we have is about 88 degrees Fahrenheit. So where did this person get the number 103 when it's only 88? Well, the confusion is with the Humidex reading. Now, if you use the Weather Network, which is popular in North America, they give you two numbers. They give you the temperature, and they give you another number which looks like the temperature, but it's called the feels like temperature. A lot of news stations call this the Humidex reading. Let's have a closer look at what these numbers are. So the temperature is the real temperature outside. Let's say that's 85 degrees. If there's a lot of humidity in the air, the Humidex reading might be 100. The 85 is the real temperature outside. The other number is one that's calculated. You'll never measure that temperature. So what people have been doing over the last 20 years is they're saying, well, it's 85 outside, but when we go outside, it feels so much warmer. So let's come up with a number that represents how we feel. So let's understand this number a little better. If it's very dry out and I go outside in 85 degrees, it's actually pretty comfortable. Now, if it's 85 degrees and really humid, I feel like it's really hot out. Now, the reason is that our bodies perspire. We sweat. I know you ladies don't sweat, you only perspire. But us guys, we sweat. Once that water is on our skin, it evaporates. That cools us down. When it's very dry out, that water evaporates quick and we feel cool. So 85 is very comfortable. But if we go out on a day that's 85 and it's really humid, the sweat can't evaporate. We don't get the cooling effect of that evaporation, and we feel warm. We feel as if it's 103. That's what that Humidex value means. All right, now let's go back to the garden and talk about plants. Plants also do something similar to sweating. Plants absorb water from the roots, and most of that evaporates out of the leaves. When the humidity is very low, the plant has no problem giving off that water, just like our skin. When it's very humid out, plants have trouble getting rid of that excess water. It stays inside the leaves. But here's the important thing. Plants don't use that evaporation to feel cool. In fact, when it's really humid and there's no evaporation to the leaves, the roots actually have to work less because the leaf is already full of water. So the root has to absorb less water from the soil because it's not losing so much on the leaves. So when it's hot and humid, plants actually have an easier time of getting water from the soil. They need to be watered less often on a humid day than on a dry day. On a dry day, those leaves lose water quickly, and the roots have to work extra hard to get the water up there. When we're talking about plants in the garden, ignore the Humidex reading. That's a number that applies to animals. It represents how we feel, how warm we feel. It tells us very little about how plants are doing. Now, the same argument is made at the low end. In winter, we also have a temperature for the day, and we get a Humidex value. Well, people are using that Humidex value to decide on how cold is it getting. But that number doesn't mean anything. Plants get damaged by cold based on the real temperature, not on the Humidex value. So when you're thinking about plants in the garden, it's the real temperature that matters. Forget that Humidex reading. That's true in summer and in winter. Now let's return to that initial question. On a hot day, should you be watering every day? And the answer is, in almost no situation should you be watering every day. Now that's assuming the plants are in the ground. If you have containers, yes, you have to water every day. In fact, on a hot day, you might have to water twice because the water is evaporating so fast. But if your plants are in the ground, if you water every day, you're watering incorrectly. And to understand that better, have a look at my video, which is right here. It'll explain how to water properly.